I'm still waking up. Still waking up. See right here? Yeah. There's a mouse. There's a mouse. A mouse. Bam. Oh, let's go to Twitch and actually change the title so it doesn't say waiting for a haircut in a Korean salon anymore. um, oh yeah, it's this. Twitch stuff there. That over here. Hi, how you doing? What's up, sad spooky robot? Why you sad? Oh, thanks. That's just a model that I posed and lit in SFM Studio. Yeah, I like to mess around a little bit with like model posing and animation and stuff from time to time. So that's Aerith on the stairs from the Joker movie, done as a dark alleyway scene. Thank you. It's one of my many many hobbies that I dabble in and don't really advance much. Well, I suppose I advance a little. I'm a bit of a polymath. I have a hard time staying on one thing. Yeah, right. Shit, that was when I played that in high school. That was a very strong heartstring character. Although personally, I've always preferred Tifa. Let's see. Yeah, I started to get into that. It was a lot of fun, but unfortunately, I was trying to be too much of a completionist, and when it got hard, I quit. But yeah, it's fun. I haven't seen the newer ones though. Um, yeah, yeah, they did a good job hyping it. That is a run-on sentence. That's fine. Just trying to get stuff down. Let's see. What's closest to heaven? Yeah, this is garbly. This is a hodgepodge of a bunch of little bullshit, but it's an Enochian cross with the alchemaic symbol for fire going over it, the circle for completion, zodiac symbol inside the circle, and this weird beastie thing on the outside is supposed to be a winged tiger. So it's a mess. I should really I should cover this. I should get a better one. Yeah, this doesn't work. This needs to be from the character's perspective. This is what is this? This is too much exposition. Adding, like, I would have to add a narrator if this was a movie. So how do I show and not tell? No, I wish I did. No, my arms refuse to grow. I for years they don't grow well at all. I wish they did. Working out seems pointless for me. I just get more wiry. Okay. Let's hear all that. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. I admittedly, for a grown-ass man, I do have a little bit of body dysphoria where I have a hard time seeing myself objectively. I'm pretty hard on myself. Really hard on myself. I appreciate that. I like compliments. Thank you. You have a very pretty name. I like the shade of pink. And at this time, I'm being way too particular. Like when you're writing, you should just be going through stuff, writing bad, writing sloppy. What on earth is one doing here of all places? The queen asked her silky smooth composure starting to ruffle. And at this time, thanks. The king, a short, once round man, now appeared drained of his juice like a grape withering on the vine. It fits in, it's worry. I want to make it worry. I like to take all this stuff and just put it through ChatGPT and see what it says and adjust from there. But it's a convenient editor and it gives me edification for what I'm doing. The king, a once round man, who now appeared drained, was just like a grape withering on the vine. Bolt. Did I use bolt? Bolt, please, bolt. Bolt. Again, I'm too worried. Balkan sought his words carefully before speaking officially. Coffee. Just good old coffee. Dark roast. Cheapest brand I could find. Yeah, I was really needing it this morning. I thought I'd be okay to just sit down and start writing and try to use the subconscious stuff. You know, you get up and everything's still soft and mushy and started getting it out. But I already did. We'll sit on the edge of the bed and monologue for a little while about my life. So may have used up all that initial impulse. Would you mind if I read this to you? What I have so far? It's just a few pages to, I don't know, give me some feedback. I, I haven't shared it with anybody yet. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read this aloud, if you don't mind. Jillian's Journey, Chapter 1. Working title. Jillian sat atop a decadently dainty throne. The silver tendrils that composed the frame she rested could have been spun by spiders. They were so fine and distantly situated that it was only by a trick of the light they were visible. The cushion she sat on was thick and white, stuffed with such soft down Jillian felt she was rested upon a precipice of easy comfort that threatened to swallow her at any instant. While she was accustomed to being called pretty, she assumed that this was simply because she was a princess, and those around her felt obligated to say so because princesses, as a rule, were expected to be pretty. Therefore, she was what they thought of as pretty. What Jillian saw in the mirror seemed to say otherwise, as the deeper she peered into the reversal of herself, the more compounded flaws she discovered. Her nose, though cutely upturned, as one would expect, was too round and broad. Her skin was smooth and unblemished, but brown like the soil. Her eyes, too, despite being wide and bright, were just foamy pools of mud that glistened like a storm recently passed. Her hair was a tangled mass of dark knots, without a single redeeming quality. Only the most merciless of nurses was tasked with attempting to straighten the mass. For only the most daring could be trusted to tame that jungle. Nor was she some paper-thin wisp, despite how her meals were measured to try and take some of the plumpness from her cheeks. She wore corsets that squeezed like a serpent, tighter and tighter with every breath. She lived in a state of perpetual gnawing hunger, yet her body still would not shrink down to that magical princess size. Mojo, are you destroying stuff down there? Dude, love is the answer. Tonight, she was bedazzled and adorned like false treasure, all shine with no luster. Mo, come here. Yeah, I know that was your plan the whole time. Doing this in phases. Well, where you go, Mo? Mojo, here, take that. Good boy. All right. Tonight she was bedazzled and adorned like false treasure, all shine with no luster. Her powder blue dress had precious blue and white gems sewn into the trim and aligning the details. Under each cascading row of jewels was a lace trim made of the finest silk. What little fabric was visible to the eye under layers of weight that played lightly with the eyes. Yeah, I really gotta work on some of these run-ons and double uses. Was a simple material expertly woven that would have suited Jillian fine as a plain dress. Instead, it had been ballooned into a monstrosity of puffs and poofs to hide and alter her natural frame into that of a doll. Around and before the tiny stage her lofty throne sat upon milled the most extravagant and expensive wardrobes, all worn by individuals whose entire bearing seemed part of the same facade. Each empty smile seemed fitted and stitched to the skull of the poor desperate soul wearing it. The most frightening smiles were the ones that seemed genuine and honest, because they were the smiles that seemed fueled by a malevolent, selfish hunger as they leered her way. The worst of these was the woman she had been forced to call mother. This lady, above all, reveled in the honesty of the malicious pride that stretched her mouth? That stretched her mouth. I think it's supposed to be that stretched her. That her stretched. That's not where that word goes. That stretched her mouth. Her mouth into revealing porcelain white teeth that were sharp and straight. These innocent colored... Oh, hi, Mo. How you doing, buddy? These innocent colored guillotines added an extra fine edge to her cutting words. Every word either to or about the girl, seemed to slice her so finely the wound could never be seen. Every insecurity was amplified by the echo of this cold woman's casual, lilting voice that could freeze Jillian like a sudden shifting of the wind. Okay. See, I thought that paragraph was crazy long. I'm going into a physical description here so we can break it up. Her lips were as red as blood, due in equal parts to the red wine the kingdom was known for, and to her meticulously painted face that distorted her sharp predatory features. This queen of the castle was a stark contrast to Gillian, in that she was fair and thin, with brilliant yellow hair that shone like the sun, that fell straight and smooth down her long, slender, pale-skinned back. Her movements were lithe and graceful, as her words, until the moment she would strike with some piercing remark that left Gillian feeling as helpless as a small animal in a raptor's talons. Possessive. Seeing this frozen fear on the girl was the one thing that seemed to bring this vindictive queen a genuine smile. Okay, that's nice. A smile that revealed the woman's boundless cruelty. A cruelty never revealed while the sun was up. Come, come. And the castle was alive with guests and diplomats. But at night, after long shadows had consumed the earth, her rage reverberated down the halls. She would scream at servants and guards, the king, and most often at Gillian herself. Gillian knew too well that the smiling, gleaming Gentile face that the queen wore under her gaudy golden crown, was the mask, and the wide, raging eyes of the angriest blue set in a beet-red face that frothed spittle at the mouth while screaming out every imperfection she had perceived or heard rumor of throughout the day, and then didn't even, a long-ass sentence, and didn't even finish to the conclusion. Was the real face of the... You know, Mojo, it just occurs to me that you jumped into my lap for that last bit of haystack, so I couldn't give you the smallest possible portions. Clever, clever rabbit. Oh, here I am, where the cursor is. She would scream until her own voice would crack under the abuse, and then she would turn violent. Of course, the queen hadn't always been this way. I think I jumped a paragraph. Oh well, let's keep reading it the way it's currently said. Hey bud, you got it all. That was it. That was the whole haystack. Things were coming up though. Of course, the queen hadn't always been this way. Once she was a lowly maidservant who had attended the previous queen, Gillian's true mother. In those days, she had been humble and kind. After the former queen's passing, this once demure servant girl quickly worked her way into the king's bed. In Gillian's distant memory, it seemed the crown of the queen slipped off her mother's head and fell onto the beastly usurper. When the former queen was alive, this pale imitator would reflect her sentiments so purely one could never doubt her innocence. Yet, when the queen passed, and her benevolent kind light was gone, the shadows left in her place revealed the twisted, jagged lines of cruelty that had framed this borrowed radiance. Gillian suffered the abuse with a quiet dignity. Although the pale queen would rage ferociously, she could not bring herself to strike with a closed fist. Only a weak, soft, half-closed claw that would flail pathetically atop Gillian's head until she either cried out or the queen retreated, clutching her bruised hand. Gillian never forgot the initial smile that spread across the sub-queen's face when she first realized she could get away with this abuse. Since that moment, over a decade ago, Gillian had never seen a more genuine smile than that moment of cruel liberation. Now she sat, quietly poised, as the perfect princess emptied almost entirely of herself, lest some spark of soul rise up within her and ignite the queen's hellish rage, which would be released as soon as the guests had left. And what a varied and almost comical collection of dignitaries there were to strut and posture before her. Each one was dressed in shimmering decadence to the degree that the sight of golden filigree had become as redundant as leaves on a tree. I did not mean for that to rhyme as much as it did, but I do that every once in a while. I get on these little rhyming things. But hey, Shakespeare did it too. But he did it to indicate, like, scene closes. They paraded the hall, either dancing in wide, slow circles or simply milling about as they dined and drank while speaking in high, lofty tones, each meant to carry over the others. Mojo! Dude, is it that bad? You gotta destroy shit? Come here. Is your hay bag empty? Do I need to put hay in your bag? That's almost always why you back up. Yep. Oh, here. There you go. Such bread. They came in all varieties of shapes, none of them attractive. Rather, they seemed like characters of excess. Some were short and wide, but like a lack of height could be easily substituted for girth, and others were gaunt and haggard by a lack of definition. Other than gaudy fashion, they were all united by an ethereal disdain for each other. The guests would occasionally break from the humdrum revelry to come bid well wishes to the guest of honor, Princess Gillian. The king and queen stood to either side like guards or ticket vendors, like either like guards or ticket. King and queen stood to either side like guards or ticket vendors who greeted each pompous passerby with royal swagger. Even from behind, Gillian could sense their eyes lighting up at the potential prizes to be gleaned from these patrons. A lot of peas. A lot of pop-up peas. While they enjoyed the prestige, it was all too clear they were here for the profit. Trading Gillian's life and freedom for some grand show of handing her over to a fashionably late suitor she had never met. While she dreaded what fate might await her, she eagerly anticipated the moment she might pass through the castle gates, never to return. Another guest approached, with a round, sweaty face that leered hungrily as the porcine politician slowly bowed, while eyeing her up and down in the motion. He was sweaty and bright red in the face, as the light dancing and three stares had winded his limited reserves so much as so much of his bearing was engaged in digestion. Princess, he stammered as he bowed, his leer widening in an even grander gesture that Gillian perceived to be a mockery. The royal guardians behind and on either side beamed at this sign of fealty, knowing it was meant for them. This entire affair was less a presentation of Gillian's beauty and more an auction, it seemed. A strange ripple moved through the crowd. The music stumbled, a sudden discordant note from every corner of the hall. Past the puffed-up politician sweating through his finery, Gillian saw him, a tall figure, draped in a dark cloak, glided lazily through the crowd. He moved like water, weaving, never rushed. I did. Yeah, I got a cut. It was interesting. I found the closest spot to get my hair cut at. Remember, I've been here for like 20 years. Thank you. And never really explored my neighborhood. So I found my closest barber, and it happened to be a little Korean lady who spoke virtually no English. And she was delightful. It was wonderful. It's the first time I've gotten my hair cut by myself in 23 years. Let's see. He was striking. Even hunched, he stood a head taller than the other guests. Guests, it's plural. Why is that singular in that case? Long, dark, blackish hair draped loosely down his back. But what caught Gillian's breath were the ears, pointed, distinct, cutting, clean triangles through the mess. She gasped. A high elf? But no. Something was off. His presence lacked the polish described in her books. His clothes were worn. His chest was bare, red trousers tattered at the hem, and wide, bare feet that padded silently across the marble like some great beast. He plucked food from plates with a casual indifference, enjoying snippets of dances only to drift away before the steps were completed. Gillian studied him, mesmerized. His narrow eyes scanned the room, not with judgment, but disinterest. They passed over brocade and gems like weeds in a field. Then he looked at her, just for a breath. His steely gaze pierced her, saw her, and moved on with a flick of one thin brow. The politician beside her reddened at being ignored, puffed in outrage, until he turned and truly saw the stranger. He blanched. "By the Maker," he whispered, "it's a Nephilim." "What on earth is one doing here of all places?" the queen asked, her silky smooth composure starting to ruffle. "And at this time?" The king, a short, once-round man who now appeared drained of his juice like a grape withering on the vine, balked and sought his words carefully before speaking wolfishly. "Perhaps it is a blessing, my queen." That's where I left off. Okay. So yeah. is she gonna refer to him as? Why would? Uh, I would remember of. I don't want to mention clans right away. That's a big deal with my high elves. They're all about their clans, about their family groups. Oh, okay. The queen snapped. Why would a member of the divine race bless any kingdom loyal to Morrigan? Divine race bless any kingdom loyal to Morrigan. And what does a stupid elfish king say? Okay, Jack, go within. Come on, let's find it. How do we identify with this character? How is this character you? Because I believe this is purely allegorical. This is all coming from my brain, and I can base characters on other people, but really those are just based on the characters of those people I have in my head. So how are you? How am I this king? This how do I relate to this character to make him real? I'm in a bad marriage. My wife doesn't listen to me. So I would shut down. After years of being snapped at, I would just shut down. Okay. gonna have to bring this closer. Fuck. You know, one of the reasons I don't like writing, and I tend to put this stuff off, and I tend to smoke a lot of pot when I usually write, and I'm really streaming, so I don't smoke. Um, Good writing, like really good writing, if you're actually doing it honestly. And I got this from a comedian, but um, good writing is basically just walking around showing people your butthole. Like that's if you really want to like make something impactful. That's how personal you got to get, and at the same time do it in such a way where it's kind of obscure, and then you create something people can really relate to, and hopefully something that lasts. Like I would love to create work that contributes to the humanities, like the classics, you know. I'd love to write something that in 100 years people pick apart and analyze and study the shit out of. Mm. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the compliment on the haircut. I had a job interview today at 9:45. Well, I don't know if it's an interview. It's like a 15-minute Zoom thing to see about maybe another interview for a job that I've wanted for years, and I don't know if I've ever actually applied to it before or not. Sorry. um, Sad spooky robot. The reason I'm sad is my wife and I are separated right now, so going through a lot, and typically in situations like this, I shut the fuck down, and I isolate. I smoke a ton of pot. I drink alcohol. I play video games. I find distractions, and I disassociate from what's bothering me, and I can't really do that right now. I gotta keep making momentum. That changed my whole life. So let's see, you have ChatGPT, give me some direction. This opening chapter is gorgeously written, lush, searing, and richly textured. It sets a vivid tone for Jillian's emotional entrapment, while introducing a cast of characters dripping with decadence, artifice, and menace. There's a graceful cruelty to the prose that mirrors the palace itself, beautiful on the surface, but rotting at the core. Here's an in-depth critique and commentary balancing strengths and potential involvements. Ugh. Fucking emotions. And the worst part about all this stuff is, like, I keep thinking I'm done. I keep thinking I've hit the emotional bottom. Like, I've exhausted the emotional trajectory. But I've had to keep a lot of stuff inside for a very long time. Tone and style. Your use of contrast. Opulence versus emptiness. Elegance versus menace is deeply effective. Phrases like innocent colored guillotines all shine with no luster and foreseen politician are poetic, biting, and memorable. The chapter reads like a fairy tale gothic, involving the aesthetic of Pan's Labyrinth or Stardust with a darker edge. Characterization. Mojo! Why? Okay, let me check your hay bag, bunny. Ugh. Fun facts. Rabbits are not rodents. So Elmer Fudd was lying to us for years. They are what is known as a lacrimorph. You got hay in your bag, so this is just human day. Do I gotta wash this corner? I shouldn't have to wash this corner. Oh, Mo. Mo, you are the worst of my pets. Ugh. Jillian's internal world is powerfully rendered. Her self-image, conditioned by her stepmother's cruelty and societal standard, is heartbreaking. The queen is terrifying. Part Narcissa Malfoy, part Cinderella's stepmother, and wholly your own creation. The backstory that she was once a maid subtly complicates her character. She's not just evil. She's a survivalist whose sole power now hoards it. The king is a great example of passive decay. Once vibrant, now merely decorative. And that's how I became in my marriage. There's so many times when I felt like she just liked the idea of me more than she liked me. And she liked me in theory, but she didn't like me in practice. Which, it just forces you to have to mask part of your personality. It's not healthy. It can lead to a lot of issues. The Nephilim, clearly Jost, because ChatGPT knows I've been working on this forever, is perfectly introduced. Charismatic, threatening, detached, his presence cuts the scene like a scalpel. Mojo, dude, why? Dick, you're okay. Thematic layers. Oh no, thematic layers. This is not just a tale of a girl in a dress. It's about performance, power, and perception. The critique of beauty standards, class, and ceremonial femininity is sharp without being heavy-handed. The line, "This entire affair was less a presentation of Jillian's beauty and more an auction it seemed," is devastating in its clarity. Opportunities for refinement. Paragraph and sentence length. Some paragraphs are very dense. Yeah, especially in the middle section. I was working on it. This mirrors Jillian's suffocation. Okay, so it was intentional then. But it can also risk overwhelming the reader. Break up longer blocks for breadth and pacing, especially around emotional beats. Example given: the Queen's abuse or the crowd descriptions. I like beats. I've been learning about beats, writing YouTube scripts and stuff. Yeah, that's my fucking. I'm always learning shit. I'm never applying. I'm always learning, never applying. Pacing reveal. The Nephilim's entrance is strong, but could land with even more power if the chapter were just slightly tighter before that moment. Consider trimming some of the middle description to heighten the shift in mood when the music falters. The transition from Jillian's dread to his arrival could be its own clean pivot. Yeah. A few lines to rethink or reword. She wore corsets that squeezed like a serpent. Great metaphor, but it slightly jars with a more poetic tone. You might elevate it a bit more with coils tightening like a patient servant. I do like that. I'm not going to do that right away, but I do like that. Bright red in the face as the light dancing in three stairs. Yeah, I know, that one needs some work. Consider smoothing already winded by three stairs and a single turn across the floor. Okay, that's good too. Clarity around magical political world. You mentioned Morrigan, goddess of war and death, and Nephilim. These are intriguing but undefined. If you're leaning into a low context immersive fantasy, this works, but be aware some readers may crave a little more orientation. Perhaps one whispered line like, "A servant murmured a warding prayer. Not all kingdoms dared speak Morrigan's name out loud." Suggestions going forward. Keep contrast sharp. Jillian's internal sense of truth versus the external performance around her. Her eventual shift, if she moves toward agency, will be all the more satisfying. Consider letting Jillian and the Nephilim lock eyes longer. A brief, emotional, or symbolic beat. This could be the seed of her first real thought not planted by her mother or court. Let Jillian's hunger, both physical and emotional, carry forward as a motive. It's introduced so well. You can echo it later chapters: hunger for freedom, knowledge, identity. Oh, wow. That's, yeah. Oh, yeah. That would do a lot for her character. That would do a lot for her character. Hunger. Hunger as a feminine, from a feminine perspective, because, like, men were supposed to fucking eat, but ladies, like, not so much. So, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's not bad. So let's just get back to it. Stop looking for edification. I am. DV. Shook off for a moment. Queen quickly unfroze. I got this whole frozen thing going with the queen. I'm not trying to make an Elsa reference. I'm just trying to talk about how she's kind of a contradiction or something. Unfroze and fuck it. Quickly unfroze and composed. Queen quickly unfroze and composed herself enough to direct a comment to the pale, aloof guest. By what great fortune of happen chance do we owe the honor of your presence. Because she's being nice, and nice is fucking dangerous. Why do you look sticky? He asked the queen. No interest. No interest in her reply. Let's try reply. Something like a real word. Why do you look sticky? Yeah. Yeah. This is my novel. This is my protagonist. Why do you look sticky? Okay. I'm gonna take a quick break. Coffee's doing its job, and I'm going out for a refill. It's the problem with having a rabbit. You always want to look around very carefully before your chair, because they're delicate and can be a little bit dumb. Damn. So, the wife and I talked last night, and she informed me that she never. I don't need to go into that right now. I don't need to go into that right now. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that to myself. I can keep writing. It's been an hour. I'm doing good. I've told myself for years if I could just do an hour of writing a day, I would be so much further ahead with where I wanted to be in life. God, my life is fucked. I miss my wife. I miss my wife, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be the fuck away from her. Figure myself out. Yeah, this sucks. This really, really sucks. Excuse me. Sorry. Didn't know a lot. Didn't know a lot. This is good. This is good. It's good for me. This is tearing me the fuck down. Tearing me the fuck apart. And the thing is, like, she always does this when I think I'm making improvements. I think I'm doing better. I think I'm getting there, and it's never good enough for her. Whenever I try, she tells me pretty much just not to bother, and then I go back into my old bad habits again. Like she told me she did not expect me to do what I've been doing. She didn't expect me to actually apply for jobs or to look for places to live or to go out and actually tour a place to fucking live. Or she didn't expect me to do anything. And she keeps trying to mention like going to therapy. It's like I don't need a therapist. I need my wife to fucking listen to me. I just need my wife to listen to me. Just respect my opinion. Like I've never cheated on her physically, but I have cheated on her emotionally and spiritually, and I've made other things more important than her because I feel like she's made other people more important than me. Like she's got that narcissist flair where she has to kind of be the center of every interaction. And she's talked over me and belittled me in public to the point where I don't want to be in public with my wife anymore. And when I am, I completely lose myself, my autonomy, my advocacy, my voice, my ability to make decisions for myself. Because if I say the wrong thing, if I make the wrong joke, the wrong wisecrack or something, I am gonna get fucking yelled at on the way to the car. So I just stay at home. I smoke pot and I play video games. And I let her wait on me and fucking foot. And it's sad, pathetic, unintentional fucking payback for how she makes me feel. How she listens to and hears about everybody else's opinion more than my own. How she can have conversations with other people outside of a relationship, and suddenly that influences the decisions that we make. And I love that she's so sociable. I love that she's so friendly. I love that she's so warm and radiant and glowing. But she makes me feel like such shit about myself. She makes me feel so fucking bad about myself. She makes me feel so bad about myself. And that's exactly what my dad used to say about my mom. That's exactly what he said about my mom. It's the exact same thing. It's the same fucking thing. God damn it. Fuck. Oh, it's generational bullshit. I tried to avoid this. I tried to fucking avoid this. I tried to fucking talk and work things out. We had goddamn fucking opportunity. But she wouldn't fucking listen to me about any fucking thing. It's always gotta be my fault. I'm the fuck up. It's always gotta be about how I react to her shit after years. Years. Chronic fucking disrespect in my own marriage, in my own relationships, in my own fucking house. Oh. Still, I'm trying to make this shit fucking work. Every single fucking step I take, she has to tell me it's not good enough. She has to throw some wrench in my way. And she tells me I gotta stand on my own. But she keeps kicking my feet out from under fucking me. It doesn't matter. It does not matter whether I stay with my wife or whether I don't. I have to make a change. I have to grow the fuck up. I have to take responsibility for my life. So it doesn't matter if we're gonna be together or not. And I wanted this. I wanted this. I tried for this, and god damn it, I asked her to fucking help me with this. She fucking refused. Like every time I asked her for any help, as a spouse, as my wife, something that I actually want, not something that she just automatically fucking does in order to rob me of my ability to have fucking choice and control in my life. But when I actually need something from her, she fights me on it adamantly. Adamantly. And she gets, not physically violent, but she gets physical. She gets threatening. She gets my face. She raises fists. She throws things at me. Oh, is it crap my mom did? No, my mom actually fucking hit me. And I would line myself up in order to help her hit me because I felt so sorry for her. The person I love the most in this world should not make me feel this bad. I could have done so much better by this house. I could have treated this like it was my own. I spent so many years hating living here. Just hating living here, wanting to fucking move, wanting to get out. She wouldn't listen to me on that. She'd argue with me about every fucking thing. But this house was a prison to me for so many fucking years. But the instant that she decides that it's a prison, we can't live here anymore. She can no longer be in this house with me. When she decides that it's no longer acceptable. And after I, for my own sins, have been forced to make peace, I studied Stoicism, I studied Zen, I study meditation. I found pills to regulate my neurochemistry. Every goddamn motherfucking thing I possibly could to maintain the fucking peace. And I'm not innocent. I was a very willing victim because it had an amazing benefits program. I got a hot, beautiful, attractive, radiant, friendly, patient, kind, loving wife with deep, deep daddy issues and scars and wounds that she refuses to fucking look at and deal with. And so she just keeps playing out her childhood trauma over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it feeds into my childhood drama. And the rewards for being shut down are I get to sit around and smoke pot all fucking day and jerk off, play video games, and be a fucking child while she takes on this narcissistic mother role. And that gives her power and control. We have a whole narcissistic child control drama where the subtle contract is you don't have to grow up just as long as you never leave me. And I've been wanting to grow up. I've been wanting to be her man. I've been wanting to take care of her. I've been wanting to make money. So I can afford all the nice things. I kept telling myself one day I would finish my fucking novel, or I would finish an animation, or I would just become a productive member of society. Like something would happen, and I would have the resources to give her the life that she wanted, and I would have the time to go with her to all these places instead of constantly like researching and trying to figure out what missing piece I needed to be whole so that I could be productive and stand next to her with pride. These are all things I was trying to do, or maybe just fantasies I was deluding myself with. Sorry, I didn't mean this to turn into a spiel about talking about my life and shit, but like I'm processing a lot of very heavy emotions right now, and I have a hard time processing emotions. Like I really gotta logically think through them entirely, and that's part of why I'm avoiding pot and alcohol and stuff. Like I'm trying to be in my emotions, in my feelings. I'm trying not to dull my motivations anymore, but I'm fucking miserable. She's got me completely fucked the fuck up. Like, we had our 20th anniversary, and I told her, I want this to be a new chapter in our life. I don't want to go back to any of this bullshit anymore. I want this to be different. I want this to be better. And she was shocked that I felt this way, and I finally got her like a decent fucking ring, which I should have the whole fucking time we were together. I even got her like a second ring that was supposed to be for the next 20 years. And it was expensive as fuck to show her just how committed I am to this relationship. But you gotta be honest, part of me just wants to fucking cancel the order and have it sent back and get my money back. Because fuck, I'm gonna need it to take care of my animals and myself. Because I don't know that I can actually trust her. Just based on her pattern, I can jump through all these hoops. I can do everything I'm supposed to do, and she's just gonna tell me it's not good enough. Like we can try it again in the future, and just based on how much we hurt each other in the past, just may not be good enough. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. 20 years. 20 years with a wonderful woman who I did not deserve, who made me fucking miserable and narcissistically abused me consistently. She broke me down. She broke me. She absolutely broke me, and I let her because it was convenient and it was pleasant and it was comfortable. I let her seduce me. I let her lull me. I let her dominate me. And we've just come to lead to separate fucking lives. It hurts. It really, really hurts. We have both been very lonely in this marriage. And whenever we try to reconnect, it seems like the past just keeps coming up and getting in the way. She says I've been mean to her now for like months, and it's probably because, once again, I was forced to open my home, felt forced to open my home to somebody who I did not want in my house, but in order to be the person that she thinks I'm supposed to be, I have to be a fucking doormat. I have to let people take advantage of me even though I fucking know better. I have to ignore my better judgment, and I just have to sit and fucking take it for her sake. It's always for her fucking sake. So I had to let myself be robbed and disrespected in my own house again. After dealing with it on multiple occasions for fucking years, I had to deal with that shit again from my own family member, and I just couldn't take it any fuck more. And I snapped and I broke the last little bit of trust she had in me. I saw it look on her face when I was just snapping and losing my shit. You know, my anger management methods and tools and things that I've done over the years just fell the fuck away. Yeah, I cracked again for the last time, I guess. But I had to repress my shadow. I had to repress all my anger and my darkness and my violence. I had to stuff it away inside of me. In doing so, I blocked away my kindness and my patience and a good chunk of my understanding for people and compassion. Like, I really, really, yeah, I've had to warp and twist myself and isolate myself and shut the fuck down for the sake of being able to stay in this relationship. Because maybe she doesn't actually love me as a person. She just loves the idea of me. She loves me as a symbol of a husband. Because she sure as fuck doesn't let me act the part. And then it's got to be this big dramatic shift because we can never work together. Like, we can never work together on this. And that's all I've tried to do since the beginning. I want to work together on this relationship. I want to work together on this home, on this marriage, on this life that we're supposed to build. But we've always been out of sync with each other, and it's cost us everything. Everything. It cost me my potential career plans. It cost us our fucking family. We could have had children. Oh, that hurts so goddamn much. That hurts so goddamn the fuck much. We waited to have kids because I wanted to get my career going. I didn't want to be stuck in some shitty job that I fucking hated, providing for my family, feeling like they had somehow held me back. Because you hear that cliche all the goddamn time, and it's horrible. It ruins families and it ruins lives. People stuck in this slave mentality, not able to build, not able to grow, because they just gotta grind day by day by day. I wanted something better than that for me, for her, for our kids, for our family. I wanted to raise kids in a house where they didn't have to go hungry. They didn't have to be without. They didn't have to see a distinct difference in the life and the opportunities that they had versus what other kids had. I wanted to do right by my kids. I I wanted to be the very best dad that I could be. But then when finally we got pregnant, we had a miscarriage. We had an ectopic pregnancy because she chose to smoke while she was pregnant, and I asked her to stop. One of the few times I came out of my hole that I was in, and I asked her to do something for me as a husband. I asked her to do something for me. Please don't smoke while you're pregnant. Please don't smoke while you're pregnant. I was at the edge of my faith as a Christian. My faith had been circling the drain for fucking years. But for those 2 weeks that she was the mother of my child, I was on my knees every single fucking day. I was thanking God. I was begging him, please just let my child be healthy. I don't care about anything other than that. Just let my child be healthy. I don't care if they have Down syndrome. I don't care if they have the same neurological shit, fucking like autistic crap as me. I don't care. Just let my child be healthy. I prayed until my knees fucking hurt every day for 2 fucking weeks. And then when I asked her not to fucking smoke, she made a goddamn fucking joke about it. She laughed. She said it was better than she not be stressed out. She said the stress would be bad for the baby, more so than the cigarettes. I don't know, maybe it wasn't the cigarettes. Maybe this would have happened regardless, but she laughed in my fucking face when I asked her not to kill my child. But she did it anyways. And then I had to shut down. I had to shut the fuck down. Because she did the one goddamn thing that she did the one goddamn thing that I can't forgive. She endangered my child. And her carelessness took him from me. I had to shut down. I had to break. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. And I couldn't talk to anybody about it. There's no one I could talk to. I should have gone into therapy. But why? Why the fuck do I have to pay 200 goddamn motherfucking dollars an hour? When I have a wife, when I have friends, when I had a best man at my fucking wedding, like there should be people that I should be able to fucking talk to. But whenever the hell I try to talk to people about my wife, they shut me the fuck down because I'm the piece of shit. It's me, not her. It's always me. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I know it's an unpleasant sound. If anyone's even watching at this point, I'm sure I lost my two commentators a while ago with this fucking sad sap bullshit. But yes, I'm streaming so I don't use drugs, so I don't smoke weed, so I don't try to self-soothe and escape into this shit. And I'm writing in the morning because I can't sleep at night. Oh, but it is 6 a.m. I've been doing this for nearly an hour and a half. So I've scared away all my viewers with my self-pity crap. It's good. I made decent progress. Now I need to go and, I don't know, I guess do something else. I gotta fill out more job applications. I'm so sick and tired of job applications, but I gotta, yeah. I'm gonna see how many I can crack out, how many I can find, fill out for the next hour, and then I will be back for my 7 to 8 stream. So I consistently try to stay on that block. I'm so surprised I still have tears. I am so surprised that I still have tears. gotta make a change. Okay. So that's the end of the stream, folks. Sorry for this monologuing and self-pitying bullshit, but I am processing, and not only is this how I'm staying clean and sober, but it's kind of what I'm using for therapy, because I need to talk, and that's all therapy is, and a lot of it is just bullshit. Like, the issue that I have with seeing a therapist is, according to Carl Jung, in order to navigate someone out of the maze and the network of the mind that they can be in, you need someone who's experienced it. You need someone who's actually been there. So, like, vets with trauma are better off talking to other vets who have worked with their trauma. Those are going to be the most effective guides. Those are going to be the most empathetic, sympathetic. They're able to relate, understand where they're coming from. And my trauma is weird. It's really, really weird. It's victim abuse, I guess is what you would call it, where I get abused by people that I feel sorry for, that I have sympathy for, and that I do not want to harm, although I could quite easily. And yeah, it warps me, it fucks me up, it makes me shut the fuck down, because I'm trying to hide just rage and a capacity for violence, you know, that we all have. And most of the time, 99.99999999999999999% of the time, I walk away, I shut down, I choose a path of peace, I choose forgiveness, I turn the other motherfucking cheek. But as soon as I set a boundary, as soon as I try to say, this is enough, this is too much, especially when it comes to my wife and other people. Yo, Milana Henry 9, how are you? Coping, I guess. Pretty bad. I think I'm at my lowest life point, and I'm struggling. I'm trying to put my life back together without really a very good tool set on how to do it. I'm trying to figure it out. How you doing? That is a very interesting name. Milana Henry 9. It's a Mortal Kombat reference? Like favorite character or something? Oh, I'm thinking Melina. My bad. Or I don't know. I haven't played Mortal Kombat in a while. Yeah, I'm bad. I'm rough. I imagine this is exactly how my father felt when my parents separated. I'm separated from my wife right now. Okay. No, I appreciate that. Sorry if I'm a little bit of a morose motherfucker right now. I'm just going through some stuff. I gotta start over. You know, I have started and stopped streaming so many times before in the past where I do it for a couple of weeks and I don't make any like progress or viewership or anything like that. Yeah, I do. For a while I've been doing every morning just playing DC Universe, but that has a lousy following. And now I'm streaming to keep from smoking pot. I have a major issue when it comes to addictive habits, and I noticed when I started streaming this last time, whenever I would hit the goal, whatever viewers I had would drop off. So I gave myself a rule where I don't smoke pot while I stream, and that this is helping. Like I said, going through a rough patch. I'm not a big fan of therapy, so this is my substitute, because therapy is all about talking. Like really, you're supposed to go in and do all the work, and your therapist is just supposed to guide you through it. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Midwest, America, Minnesota. Minneapolis, even. So, like, that Minneapolis. So yeah, working through a lot of feelings, working through a lot of complications right now. Separated from the wife, we have a toxic, codependent relationship. I suspect she's got some. I don't suspect. I know she's got some form of narcissism, and I keep making excuses for her. Like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But I've been crying all morning about it, about just the abuse, being shut down and disrespected and invalidated in my relationship until the point where I sit around and just smoke pot and play video games all fucking day. Because why would I try if I'm shut down? If her hanging out with people and friends and family and all that is so much more important than me in the relationship, then why keep putting myself in that situation? But yeah, I'm seeing your chat. I'm sorry, I haven't figured out how to get my stuff on the screen. But yeah, I totally see your chat. By the way, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking, like, yeah, yeah, I see you, bud. Yeah, I'll get that figured out. Okay, rock on. Uh, the landing point, right? I had family from there. The ones that came off the Mayflower. Oh wait, was that Virginia? But yeah, I'm descended from pilgrims, and sure. What are you gonna suggest? Putting on a shirt? Ah, graphics, visuals, stuff like that. Yeah, no, I gotta learn how to implement all that stuff. And if this is a talk up for selling me graphics, I'm not in that place right now. Yeah, yep, definitely. I am broke as hell though. Like I said, separated from my wife and unemployed and draining my funds to try and survive right now. So yeah. In fact, I should be looking for a job right now. I was gonna do that before you popped on. All right. Well, do what everybody does and send me like a follow or whatever on Discord, and then I can look into your stuff if I ever figure out how to actually use Discord. That'd be great. Um, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go take a little break. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going through the worst phase of my life. This is. I really wanted to avoid becoming this cliche so bad, and I saw the indications and was so locked into my habits. I couldn't do much to change. And I one day I saw she was upset. I asked her about it, and she told me about how upset she was. And so I tried to change right then and there. I started adjusting and trying to make her happy and looking for a job and focusing more on her. And like it was clear that I was going to lose her, so I stopped holding back like I do in relationships. Because whenever I love somebody completely, they suddenly abandon me. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, send me some samples on Discord. And so I just tried to love her completely, like I was going to lose her. Sure enough, we were on our way to our 20th wedding anniversary. Had I thought a wonderful weekend and agreed that we were going to come home and things were going to be different, things were going to be better. I was going to help her more. I was prepared, and she told me you've only been doing the minimum. It's Jack Days. It's the same. Okay, one word, Milana Henry. All right, I'll keep an eye out for you. Yeah, it's just Jack Days on Discord. Okay. Well, thank you so much for viewing, and yep, I appreciate that. Mojo, please stop. I gotta start my day. I gotta fill out more job applications. I gotta try not to look too sticky. Mojo, please stop. Should we save that? Work on that tomorrow morning again. Like I wanted to for years. I really wanted to for years get up and write every single morning. And I just couldn't. I'd wake up stoned already because I was smoking through the night to sleep because I have insomnia. And then I would just be distracted by whatever was the most dopamine rich thing I could do next.